just slipped our dock lines and we are off on an 18-day voyage to Bermuda. Well, we finally have both sails up. Woohoo! That is the craziest airport. Just immediately take off and bank right. I'm sure. Bye-bye, Madeira. Beautiful following seas. We're leaving Madeira behind. I'm actually on whale watch, hoping to see some sperm whales or some other whales around here. Wind is directly behind us right now. We're motor sailing, charging up the batteries, only doing about 5 knots, with 6.5 knots of apparent wind. And we're heading west-southwest at 250 to get into the trade winds. So 18 days, here we come. There is the last bit of land that we will probably see for the next 2 weeks at least. Bye-bye, land. Well, we have officially lost sight of land. Madeira is, I don't know, about 30 to 50 miles behind us. We can no longer see it. The sun is setting. It's about 8:30 on Saturday, and we are currently doing about 7 knots. Got about 10 knots of wind on our beam. We're motor sailing, trying to get some good distance in front of us, or I should say behind us, in case a low or a tropical storm or a hurricane develops off the west coast of Africa. Give us plenty of breathing space in case we need to turn up north and do a big 360 and come in behind it. So we probably will be motor sailing for the first week or so, just to get way out into the Atlantic, and then we plan to sail for at least 5 days before maybe turning back on the motors again. Hopefully we'll be in Bermuda in less than 18 days. By my calculations, if we're doing 5.5 knots, we should be there in 18 days. If we can do 7 knots, we'd be there in 14. Fingers crossed for 7+ knots. Well, good morning. It is day 2 of our Bermuda crossing. Well, I just dove under the ship and pulled that out from the prop. That was fun. 2,000, 3,000 meters of water. Good morning. It is day 3 on our 18-day passage to Bermuda. Another beautiful sunrise. Very calm, almost no wind. Flat seas, no storms. Looks like it's going to be a beautiful day. Well, it's day number 3. It is dead calm out here. No wind, no waves, plenty of sun. And we're just motoring along, kind of exercising and doing nothing. What is that? I don't know if you can see how calm it is, but it is dead calm out here. just flat. It's an ocean of glass. Fish on! We caught our first fish, small tuna, beautiful looking. But captain said it was too small, so hopefully that sacrifice back to the sea will bring us good luck, and we'll get some bigger fish later on in the voyage, because I want to eat some fresh tuna or some dorado or swordfish or anything we catch, actually. Well, it is day 3 of our crossing. I think I'm already getting a little bored. I'm over here wrapping, coiling up ropes, listening to podcasts, exercising. It's gonna be a long voyage. Good morning, it's day 4 of our passage. We are finally just sailing. We've turned the motors off, got a preventer on the boom, barber haul on the jib, and we're doing about 4.5 knots, so it's good enough.
Francis Drake decided to play it safe and head to port to take that ship that was waiting to debark.
So we just got a weather report from someone in the US that says we need to head down to 26.5, and we can catch some good winds there. That was really against what our original plan was. We didn't want to go below 28. And if we can't catch any good winds, the fallback plan may be to go back to the Canary Islands, get more diesel, more jerry cans, and we can just motor all the way across, because there doesn't appear to be a whole lot of wind. Although that would suck, because we have to turn around, but I don't think we're more than 350 miles or so from the Canaries, so another 3 days back to land, turn around, and then start all over. Ugh. Anyway, also I just caught another tuna, I think. Had a fish on, but we lost it. Day number 5 on our passage. We got the second reef in the mainsail, preventer on, and the barber haul back on the jib. Doing about 6 knots, but we are still heading south down to about 27 degrees lat, which is as far south as we want to go, but it's where the best wind is predicted. We don't really want to go any further south, otherwise we're risking getting into the path of potential hurricanes. So that's where we are right now, day 5. Happy days. We are finally in the trade winds, heading directly west, going to Bermuda. We've got kind of a broad reach going on here. Our mainsail's on the second reef with the preventer line. Head sails all the way out. Heading of 271. Bermuda, here we come. Just 2,000 miles to go. Well, it's day 6 or 7. I'm not really quite sure. Our portside engine is no longer engaging, so we're having some issues with that. We are going wing on wing. We're looking at a whole bunch of different weather patterns. There are 3 tropical storms right now, and or 2 tropical storms and 1 hurricane in the Atlantic. So our routing is still pretty good, but we are having to constantly look at the weather to see if we can keep moving forward, or we're gonna go south, or we're gonna go north, or whatever. We've got some squall lines that have been coming through last night. A little bit of rain, a little bit of wind, nothing more than 20 knots gusts. And we're wing on winging it right now, so, and dealing with engine issues. sunset day 8 of our cross-Atlantic charter. We still have about 1,750 miles to go to Bermuda. We have another 3 or 4 days of sailing in good wind, and then we should be motoring from there on out the rest of the way. The engine isn't fixed in Bermuda, the boat is staying there. At about 1:30 last night, we were urgently woken up to come deal with some issues on the mainsail. Apparently, one of the reefing lines broke, and when it broke, it put too much pressure on the lazy jacks, broke the lazy jacks, and so we had to drop the whole sail into the bag. But because the port side lazy jacks were broken, it was kind of an issue. We had to kind of backwind the sail to starboard so we could get it into the bag. But it looks like the reefing lines are all chafed, and because they're not put into blocks on the back of the sail, they're just kind of through some plastic grommets. They've chafed, so we've taken out the one that's broken. We're trying to replace the third one. So basically the first and third reef and second reef have all chafed, and we've only been sailing this boat. It's brand new. We've only been sailing it for I don't know, 5 weeks. So pretty shoddy construction. But it was all hands on deck last night at about 1:32 in the morning, and then being up on top of the Bimini, which is at least 5 to 8 meters off the water, maybe more than that, maybe 10 meters. We're really high up. So I'll show you what it looks like here and what we've been doing to replace it, and then what we're gonna have to do tomorrow to fix everything. Portside engine has miraculously started working again after we tinkered with it repeatedly, reset it, all sorts of stuff. Still don't know what it is. We are guessing that maybe something got wet, some of the controls. It's all electronic. There's nothing we can actually fix or repair. So we've kind of ghetto-rigged controls up here so they don't get wet again. We don't know if that's going to fix it, but the portside engine is running. We are just going to burn through all the diesel until we get to Bermuda, so in case it stops working again. So right now it's on 1600 RPMs, and we are less than 10 days out from Bermuda. Fingers crossed. Coming up next, we see some of the best sunsets that nature can provide, and the longest sailing passage of my life finally concludes when we reach Bermuda. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end of this video. We really appreciate your time. If you like this video, please consider liking, subscribing, or commenting on this video so we can talk with you directly. These are fast, fun, and easy ways for you to follow our adventures. Thanks again, and we'll see you next week.